What's up, family? It's Marv, OneRepAtATime.net with an exercise tutorial for the Incline Dumbbell Pullover. Now, with all of our exercise tutorials, I strongly encourage you to watch it at least once. I'm going to go over the setup, coaching points, mental cues, tips, tricks, all of that good stuff. And then with this in your ear, so to speak, I can coach you through step by step your first few warm-up or working sets until you feel confident and competent doing it on your own. Now, this is the Incline Dumbbell Pullover, so because we're doing an incline and because we're emphasizing the chest, the range of motion is going to be short to a traditional pullover, which gets a big stretch in the lats. People will argue pullovers are for back, pullovers are for chest. They're for both, and you can emphasize and change the priority of it. Now, if you're doing an incline dumbbell pullover, you need to have at least the shoulder mobility to be able to do an overhead press without any impingement or shoulder issues or pain. If you can't do an overhead press pain-free, you have no business doing a pullover. So you're going to have to do some mobility drills and strengthen it before you start to do this. Now, to emphasize the chest versus the lats, we're not going to lead with our elbows, which is typically what a pullover is. So a pullover without the weight, people will get a big stretch, they drop their hands as far as they can, get a big stretch in the lats, which is your back muscle, and then they pull their elbows and they come all the way up and keep squeezing their back. Now, we want to emphasize the chest, so we're not going to go as far back with the weight, and we're only going to come up right about chest height and squeeze, but to get your chest to fire versus your lats, it's all about the hands. Similar to a bench press, when I tell everybody to picture bringing your hands together as you press, right, that inward force is going to fire your chest. Your hands, I want you to picture bringing them together and pulling down. Together and pulling down, hence you grab the dumbbell with a stance like this. Some people will interlock. I don't like it. I like to go boom, just like that. There's the dumbbell. And you're picturing your hands together and down. So it's this movement right here. You could do it without weight, and you should be able to feel your chest start to fire. Now, because we're doing it on an incline, it's going to emphasize the upper chest because it's all about the angle of the shoulders relative to your pecs. So, I'm using a light weight. Start cautiously. This is never a max weight exercise. This is a stretch and a contraction. It's a great way to get a bunch of blood in there and to connect with your chest. So, like I said, our hands are holding the dumbbell like that. We come back. Now, I personally slide up just a tad. Okay, so this thing is, we stretch. We don't need to go as far down, right about head height. Up, I'm bringing my hands together and down. I'm squeezing my chest as hard as I can, and I stop right above my chest. I'm getting a nice stretch. Now, everybody has a different range of motion. If you have pain in your shoulder, you've gone too far. I'm picturing driving my hands together through the dumbbell and pulling it downwards and squeezing my chest. Now, breathing is inhale on the stretch, exhale as you bring it up, and I want you to hold this squeeze for at least 2 to 3 seconds to really connect to your chest. Inhale, we're not focusing on the elbows, we're focusing on the hands. Hands together and down. Hopefully you feel a difference. If you don't, be patient. I would actually recommend doing the chest activation exercise before doing this if you have a hard time feeling. Go to a point of stretch. Focus hands together and down. Stop the dumbbell right over chest height and picture squeezing your hands together or touching your hands through the dumbbell. One more. Elbows are fixed in position, right? So I don't want it to turn into one of these. That is an actual specific type of pullover / tricep exercise. Elbows are fixed just like any type of crossover or heaven forbid fly. Big stretch, up, good, squeeze. So it's slow and controlled. That is the tempo I want you to do. Slow and controlled, and then the stretch, come up, hold that contracted position above your chest for a solid 2 to 3 seconds, squeezing as hard as you possibly can. So let's grab our dumbbell and do our first few warm-up. We're working sets together, and I will say you can vary the angle of the bench. I like a lower incline angle for pullovers. It just feels better on my shoulders personally, but you could vary it to change the emphasis. The more upright you get, obviously at a certain point, we can't go completely vertical or close to vertical because then that's more of a shoulder and a tricep exercise. But the more steep you get, the more shifts this emphasis up, and this works really good at that shelf area right here at the top. Okay, so grab your dumbbell, sit back. You have your low back arched, just as if you're about to do any sort of incline press. Okay, Now, I failed to mention, legs are strong, glutes are squeezed, core is tight. Press the dumbbells up. Now, inhale as you get a nice stretch behind. Go till you feel a point of stretch. Hands together and down. Pull down with the hands. Breathe out, squeeze that chest, dumbbell over your chest. Inhale, dumbbell goes over your head. Everything's nice and tight. Go till you feel a point of stretch. Focus on your hands together, down. Exhale, dumbbell over your chest. Squeeze your pecs as hard as you can. Good. Inhale. Inhale on that stretch as you go up. Feel that stretch in the chest. Boom. Hands together and down. Exhale. Squeeze that chest. Dumbbell over your chest. Big inhale as you stretch. Nice and controlled. Feel a stretch in the chest. Up. Hands together and down. Exhale. Squeeze that chest. Dumbbells right over your pecs. 3 more. Inhale. Keep those elbows fixed. Don't let them start bending. Keep that position in your low back. Pull up, hands together and down. At that top position, you're still squeezing your hands together as hard as you can. Good. Inhale on the way down. Nice stretch in the chest. Up, hands together and down. Elbows fixed. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Excellent. Now to safely bring it down, I like to safely bring it down on my chest and then sit up as such. That is how you do the incline dumbbell pullover, 1 rep at a time. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. If you liked what you saw, you wanted to see what else we could offer you, check out onerepatatime.net. So this is not just a YouTube channel. This is a fitness and recovery mindset, blog, training service, nutrition programs, online, remote, private personal training, all of that. So if you like what you saw, want to get more information about how we can help you reach your fitness goals 1 day, 1 set, 1 rep at a time, check out onerepatatime.net.